Good morning. Thank you for joining VirtualPBX admin training. I'm going to give people another minute or so to get logged in or to show up since we had a couple people sign up. For anyone who's a vConsole customer, we no longer have the live trainings for the vConsole. However, you can find the recorded trainings. Go to our website and mouse over support. You want to go to vConsole support. And if you scroll down, the advanced admin training, that's the full training for our vConsole customers. And then below that, you have our various guides for vConsole. Now, likewise on Dash, you have a Dash support page. The new user training, that's actually the full training that this session covers. And then we have a little more specific ones for a couple of features here. And then down below that, we have the various Dash guides. In the guides, we try to make sure we have the screenshots so you know what to look for. There's, when it comes to the VoIP phone guides, the screenshots are the VoIP phones that we have in stock. Sometimes they change the UI of those without us knowing. So unfortunately, those aren't always up to date, but we do try to keep them going. All right, let's go ahead and get really into it. So to get logged in, you go mouse over support, and you click on PBX login. And then you want to scroll down a little bit. So first up is the Dash login. Just below that, we have the VirtualPBX web phone login. So this is a device for our Dash customers. It allows you set up the device on your account, but then you can use either Chrome or Firefox on a desktop or laptop computer to make and receive calls. We are working on an updated version of the web phone. I don't have an ETA, unfortunately. And one of the things we're working on for that update is to get the web phone to work on the mobile versions of browsers, so you can use it on your cell phone, as well as expanding the number of browsers we support. But right now, its full support is only on Chrome and Firefox on desktop and laptop computers. On a side note, on my Android, I have a Galaxy S9. I'm able to use the web phone on Chrome on my cell phone. But like iPhones, I know have problems with it. And I think it could also depend on how old your iOS is or your Android OS is. Further down, you have the PBX login for vConsole. Just click on that. But since we're talking about Dash, let's go in and get into Dash. All right. So for Dash, your login is going to be your email address. Your password should have been sent to you when you got your account created. And then your account name is your company name. You always have the option to click Remember Me, and then you also have Forgot Your Info. This is basically another form. And then you click Sign In. One thing to remember about the username especially is that it is case sensitive. Some browsers will often start off that first letter of your email address with a capital. So you want to change that to lowercase. And then we're on our dashboard page. So here we have your total users. So these are what I refer to as fully functional or fully featured users. these are people who make and receive phone calls. They can use a variety of devices. So they can get calls like on their cell phones or their landlines, for example, as well as any kind of VoIP device. In terms of features, they have call forwarding, hot desking. They have a conference bridge. They can have their own fax box if they want. They have follow me calling. So with all those various devices, they can arrange when they ring to them, or actually, I guess as an admin, you would arrange that for them. Down below that, we have agents, right down here. Agents are specifically for ACD queues. So these are people who are receiving calls predominantly. They are restricted to only VoIP devices. So a physical VoIP phone, a soft phone, or the web phone would all count. They cannot receive calls to a cell phone or a landline. They also basically have no features other than voicemail. And again, they're therefore to be taking calls through an ACD queue. That's the reason they're there. Adding users will always increase your bill, as will adding agents. Agents cost less than a user because, again, they're so limited and they're tied to ACD queues. And ACD queues have their own cost, so that's why they're cheaper. All right, below agents, we have total devices. This is just a breakdown of the devices you have on the account. All right, so these are devices that are on a user or an agent. And a breakdown of, SIP phone is a VoIP phone, soft phone, software application. You've got cell phone, landline, etc. All right, over to the right, we've got your main numbers. So these are numbers that your customers dial to get to your phone system, right? So to get a hold of you. So all these numbers behave the same way, and in terms of they get routed the same way. They all play the same main greeting if you have a greeting selected to play. Below that is the fax box number. So this is for incoming faxes. That's the number people would dial to send me a fax. You don't have to have a fax box number if you don't want to have to deal with faxing. You get that. Total numbers, these are the numbers on your account. An assigned number is a number you're using. So this means it's either a main number, a fax box number, it could be your conference bridge number. It could be going directly to a user, DID, could be going to your ACD queue, could be going to a ring group. Spare numbers are numbers that are on your account, so you're being billed for them, but you're not using them, so they don't ring anywhere. Basically, you're saving them for a later use or like a particular ad campaign. And then just below that, we have the breakdown, in this case, of US DID, so US local numbers, and then US toll-free. You can also have international numbers as well. For international numbers, if you're interested, you're going to want to email porting@virtualpbx.com. Give them the city and country that you're interested in, and they will let you know if it's available and or what other requirements we may need. Like Germany, for example, they require proof of presence within the country, so they need like a bill, a phone bill of some sort. All right, company directory. This is the number of people that are users you said want to be in the user directory, and that's something also I believe the users themselves can select. The account ID. This is technically your account number, which is right down here. Now, whenever you call us, we're not going to ask you for the account number because one, it's really long and kind of convoluted. Two, it's also just easier for us if we ask you for your company name, and we can usually look you up that way. And then lastly, account realm. This is what you use to program a third-party VoIP device or soft phone application. You would also use this for sending out an outbound fax. We use email to fax, so this would be your domain. So after the @ symbol. All right. Up top here, caller ID. So this is for all of your main phone numbers. The company caller ID name, also referred to as CNAME or CNOM. This is restricted to 15 characters. That includes spaces or special characters. far as I know, this is an industry standard. And basically, not every carrier in North America supports CNAME, which is unfortunate, but the vast majority do. And so basically, you would fill this out, and when you click submit or save changes at the bottom here, that information gets transmitted to all of those carriers who support CNAME. That's why it can take up to 3 business days for all of those various servers to update, because we don't control them. It happens on their time. A couple things to keep in mind about caller ID name. This is information that gets sent out when you make an outbound call. So from, say, you pick up your VoIP phone and you're calling someone. Now, if that call happens to route through a carrier that doesn't support CNAME for whatever reason, then the CNAME information doesn't get through to the other person you're trying to call. Nothing we can do to control that. Obviously, even if a carrier who supports CNAME is handling call, if they're having like a maintenance issue, that one of the first things that doesn't get through is CNAME, because their first concern is make sure the call connects, and then the caller ID information, and then CNAME. CNAME's the lowest priority. And then one thing that maybe not everyone understands is if you're calling someone who has your phone number programmed into their phone, whatever they have programmed on the phone takes precedence over whatever we send. All right. Next up, we have E911 or Enhanced 911 or emergency address. So this is your business address, typically speaking, but basically, by default, your VoIP phones will send out this information when someone picks up and dials 911. You can have different E911 for your staff members if they're at different locations. So obviously, they may need to call 911. So you want to make sure they have the right address. And then you would click on Save Changes. Hold music. This is a file you can upload right there. So Dash can accept .wav, or .mp3 files. And so for hold music or for greeting, like your main greeting, or for voicemail greetings, right? .wav, .mp3. Right now, it's restricted to 1 megabyte in size. Our engineers are working on it because it should be up to 5. So they're trying to figure out what happened there. The other thing is when you're recording or anything you upload in terms of media file, you want to make sure it's recorded in mono, not in stereo. So when you listen to anything over the phone, you call someone or call a service, that whatever you hear is in mono. So when you try to upload a stereo file to play over a mono device, what you end up hearing is a lot of static. So record in mono and then upload. Also for this hold music, this is for someone's already connected with you or a staff member, and then you place them on hold on your VoIP phone. This is the music that plays. And then hours. This is your hours of operations. It's actually, you can tell here, is technically under the main number heading. So by default, new customers are set to 24-hour open office. You can change that to custom office hours. And each day of the week, you put a check mark in front of that you're open. And then you put your open hours in 24-hour or military time. Right, if you're closed, you leave it unchecked. And then right here at the bottom, nice little feature. If you're closed for lunch, so your entire office or your entire store closed for lunch, put a check mark here, and you enter your lunch hours in 24-hour time. Then you click Save Changes. All right, office holidays. You can set your office holidays in advance. So a single day, we'll do President's Day here. Sorry, So you add holiday, you have single day, date range, advanced. So a single day, you give it a name, you put the date. Notice that there's no year. So for something like President's Day, which changes from year to year, after it passes, you probably just want to delete it and then enter it again at a later time for the next year. For something like 4th of July, which stays the same, you can just put it in and just leave it. Handy. Date range, like we have down here for Christmas. So I have it from December 22nd to the 26th. So basically the system knows, hey, you're in holiday mode from here to here automatically. Now, because there's no year designation, you do not want to have a date range covering New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The system just puts you in closed all year at that point because it doesn't know how to handle it. So at some point, we're hoping our engineers can put in the year field there, or just not allow you to do it over New Year's. So basically, do a single day for New Year's Eve, single day for New Year's Day, and then you're fine. And then the advanced is basically I'm saying, hey, the second Monday of March every year, hey, we're closed. You know, a standard company retreat or something like that. And again, click Save Changes if you make any changes. All right, looks like no one has shown up. So I'm going to go ahead and end the training.